about the Isle of Man Heritage Open Days, which are happening early October. Katie King from M&H is with us. And Katie, this is a significant year for this event.
It is, yeah. It's our 10th anniversary, would you believe it? We didn't believe it until we checked our facts and realised it was. So, yeah, we've been going since 2010, and yeah, we've got some fantastic statistics to share over the years, and we've figured out that we've actually delivered over 800 events in the time we've been running and engaged 20,000 people, so we're pretty proud of ourselves this year.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. And I was talking to Stu about this before the show, and it is just brilliant to be able to get that behind the scenes look at something that, you know, that you've probably driven past loads and loads of times but don't really know much about.
Yeah, and it's very much plays into sort of the Manx enjoying a skeet at buildings, and we were reminiscing about the first event in 2010 when we decided to open Derby Fort on St Michael's Isle. And we just put a little ad in the paper, and we had one guide there just to unlock the doors. It's always locked, isn't it? And we had 250 people in the first hour and 1,500 people in the first day. So we thought, oh, we're onto something here. Yeah, so it started from that, really. And it mirrors Heritage Open Days in the UK, but ours is very Isle of Man specific, in that we coordinate it as one community rather than us all doing separate events. So yeah, it's fantastic. Heritage Open Days is a Europe-wide sort of concept, this idea of getting inside mainly historic buildings that are normally closed to the public. And in fact, Heritage Open Days Britain have been celebrating 25 years this year. So we actually started 10 years ago, as I said before, just opening Derby Fort on Derby Haven. And since then, it's really exploded. So I say we started off with 3 events over the and just Manx National Heritage doing it, and then the following year I think we had 4 events, and we had a couple of partners helping us out, and now we've got this year, I was just having a quick count up, we've got 136 events happening over the 6 days. We're working with 45 partners, so they're other independent museums on the Isle of Man, Heritage Trust, heritage groups, heritage enthusiasts. We've got Blue Badge guides, we've got people that have completed the heritage degree at the college who have done loads and loads of research and are leading tours and things like that, and also private homeowners that own historic property. So there are partners who we're working with. So although Manx National Heritage sort of coordinates the weekends and pull it together and try and make it easy for people to book and things like that, it's a real island-wide initiative. And we were calculating how many volunteers we have. So every event in the main is being delivered by a volunteer. They've got volunteer stewards for safety. So there's hundreds and hundreds of volunteers putting this on as well. So it's something I love putting together every year, because I work with some of the best people around the island who are so passionate about their heritage, and you can't fail to be enthused by it, really.
And how do you choose the sites? Is it you that sort of goes, I've always wanted to see inside that?
No, not at all. So in January, I think, every year we put out a call to arms and say, would anyone like to take part in Heritage Open Days? So we have our contact database who we go through. And most people who have run events before, they try to put on a different type of event, or they're trying to shape it slightly differently so that it's fresh to the public. So we have those people, and then at the end of Heritage Open Days we always ask the participants, the visitors, what they might like to see, and people email us in or tell us lists of buildings they'd like to access, and then basically I pester people, and my colleagues pester people to say, oh, can we come inside? And often, unfortunately, there's practical reasons why we can't access buildings. For example, we haven't tried this year, but numerous years we've tried to get in Castlemona and things like that. So there's some buildings we always try and get into. Some buildings reserve themselves for charity fundraisers and things like that. Some very special older buildings, so they don't want to give away that sort of the thrill of the charity fundraiser aspect, so they don't want to get involved. But yeah, basically anybody can, and increasingly for walking tours around the Manx landscape, it's just people with a passion, that want to share that with the public. And my goodness, the public really engage with this. And I don't know if I was telling you earlier, but when we opened the booking line at 10 a.m. on last Thursday, you can book online. Some of the events were fully booked within 9 minutes. So but don't let that put you off. it's very few events that are fully booked. Some of the events can only have tiny capacity, and that's the reason that it appears to be quite frenzied. There's lots of space on lots of the events.
We are talking to Katie King about the Heritage Open Days. So what have been some of your favourites then over the 10 years that you've been doing this?
I was talking about that this morning to somebody. I really enjoyed seeing inside the Government House, so the Governor's home with Charles Gard. That was a particular good one for me because it was really lovely to look around the bedroom that the Queen stayed in and stuff like that.
Wow,
So it's that kind of looking, you know, it's the having the skeet, isn't it? Having a look around. I've really enjoyed a lot of the walking tours. So just going around the Isle of Man with really knowledgeable people. So Groudle Glen, there was Chris Callow, the Blue Badge guy, did a wonderful tour around Groudle Glen a couple of years back, and he's doing it again this year. The Bride Radar Station walk, that's, again, you're on private land, you can't normally access that. Anything for me that's private, you're not normally allowed to do, I really enjoy.
She's a bit of a rebel.
Just likes having a skeet.
Well, not really, because I only go when I'm allowed to go.
So how can people find out then, Katie, what is going to be available and when is it happening?
Yeah, so we've got, it's happening on the first 2 weekends in October, so the 4th to the 6th of October and the 11th to the 13th. And we've got a printed programme that you can pick up from the Welcome Centre and the Manx Museum. We were inundated last week, so we slightly underestimated the demand, so we've got a load more programmes that have arrived today. So if anyone's been disappointed about picking up a programme, they're there today, so and they'll be fully stocked for the rest of the time. If you don't want to leave the comfort of your armchair, you can just look online on our website, follow the link to Heritage Open Days, and it's got a full list of the bookable events, and I try and keep that updated so you know which ones have space on them. And in addition to the bookable events, I know that's what I've been talking about really, but there is also open doors events as well. So the programme is a mixture of things that you need to book onto for capacity reasons and some that you can just turn up and enjoy. So, for example, we've got some people on hand in the Castown Police Station, the former Castown Police Station, so you can have a skeet round there. Our partners at Douglas Town Hall put on a fabulous show, so they've got loads of things for you to go and explore down at Douglas Town Hall. I'm just looking through the programme.
There's just so much. We're going to go and have a skeet round St Thomas's, aren't we?
We are, with Charles Gard.
With Charles Gard. That's very. Listen to the organ.
Yeah.
We've got the Nicolo Visitor Centre, which is open at Dan Patrick for you to go and enjoy. So what I would recommend is you come and pick up a brochure or have a look online and have a think about what you might like to do and what you might like to enjoy. If an event is full, don't worry too much, because we maintain a waiting list which you can register yourself for the waiting list, and there is a lot of movement, so don't be too disheartened if things appear to be full, because I think people book on with a lot of excitement and then they realise that they're off island or something. So we do have a lot of movement. And also to say, if you have booked onto an event and you can't make it, just let me know, because there's loads of people behind you wanting your place.
Brilliant. Katie, thank you so much for coming in to tell us about that. Thank you for the badges as well, celebrating 10 years of these open days.
Pride.
Absolutely.